What up, guys? Today we're talking about 5 fantasy football running backs that you can't afford to miss this draft season. Let's be honest. Everybody and their mama is running the zero running back strategy. It's just becoming more and more popular around fantasy football league. If you can find a few bell cow running backs, this really gives you the great opportunity to take advantage of your league mates who are running that zero running back strategy. I have 5 certified running backs that are going to break fantasy football. First off, let's talk about a guy who straight up terrorized defenses at the end of last year. Let's talk about Bijan Robinson. Sweet mother of mercy. I absolutely love this guy. To be honest, he's going way too late in drafts. Typically, he's being drafted in the 3 to 7 range, which, again, that's just way too low. This guy is going to break fantasy football, and honestly, I would take him at the 101 this year above Jamar Chase.
Last season, Bijan Robinson played all 17 games. He had 304 attempts with 1,456 rushing yards, 61 receptions on 72 targets, 431 receiving yards, and 15 total touchdowns.
And he finished as the RB5 in half PPR, which, if he keeps these trends up, I expect him to be closer to RB1, RB2, but I really think there's a strong chance he finishes at RB1 this season. You know what's the craziest part about him finishing as RB5? He wasn't fully unlocked until the end of the season. Once the Atlanta Falcons gave Bijan the keys to the kingdom, he went nuclear. He was averaging 18.3 fantasy points per game on the last 6 games of the season. This guy was winning fantasy football championships. And then Bijan managers were finally able to say how smart they were for knowing that he was going to break out all year long. I'm taking Bijan at the 101 this year. That is how confident I am in this guy. Jamar Chase, Saquon Barkley, they're all amazing players, but I feel like Bijan is going to take that jump. Running back scarcity is becoming more and more real in fantasy football. It's harder to find that guy off the waivers week in, week out. Yes, there's always constantly running back injuries, but last season in fantasy football, only 6 running backs finished the season averaging 16 points or more in fantasy football. Bijan Robinson was built in a lab, it feels like sometimes. He catches passes out of the backfield. He'll run up the middle. He'll run outside. He can do it all. He's basically a receiver in a 250-pound body. It's insane. He doesn't need touchdowns to produce, and he's in a young Atlanta Falcons offense. Bijan Robinson has the 4th easiest running back schedule, and not to mention 11 of the games that the Falcons play this year, they are playing in domes. Bijan Robinson is playing indoors 11 games this year, which is the 3rd most in the league, which just gives a huge relief to all the fantasy owners that have him because they don't have to worry about crazy weather conditions. Let's talk about Michael Penix Jr. He's a young guy. And in these situations, we see that with a young quarterback, offenses tend to lean on the running back a lot. As Michael Penix is developing, they're going to lean more on screen passes, more on running the ball until he really figures out what it is like to be a quarterback in the NFL. What does this all mean? It means that Bijan's going to get a ton of catches, a ton of carries, and I think his touchdowns are going to go way up this year. He is so safe. He has an amazing floor and an even better ceiling. This guy is going to go nuclear this season, and you cannot afford to not draft him. All right, let's rip the Band-Aid off. I know what you guys are thinking, but the next guy up is Christian McCaffrey. I know. This is a trigger for a lot of you guys, but I'm telling you right now, this is another guy you need to draft. You need to take the chance on Christian McCaffrey. By far the biggest bust in fantasy football last season. And again, I know I'm triggering people thinking, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, shame on CMC. But hear me out. I'm back in on Christian McCaffrey this season. George Kittle had the same Achilles issue a couple years ago, got stem cell treatments, and hasn't missed a beat since. Guess what? McCaffrey got the same therapy last season, and according to every report that matters, he is entering the 2025 season fully healthy. And when McCaffrey plays, he is so elite. I can't believe we're talking about 3 games here, but last year he averaged 16.6 touches, 93.7 yards, and played 81 to 94% all snaps. Last season, McCaffrey forced the miss on 22% of his carries. This vet is not washed up yet. He has a little bit more left in the tank. I'm thinking this season, I'm in. Next season, I'm out. I get it. The injury risk is there. There is a chance he's going to burn you, but there's also a chance that he goes nuclear and wins you a fantasy football championship. And you know what they say, high risk, high reward. Are we playing to win the championship or are we playing to make the playoffs? This is what fantasy football is. High risk, high reward. I'm calling it now. CMC has one more monster year in him before I call it quits. Now, speaking of injury, let's talk about Kenneth Walker III. You want to know a secret? Kenneth Walker finished as RB12 last season, and nobody's talking about it. This guy was legit when healthy. Kenneth Walker finished with 15.4 fantasy points per game. Among running backs, he was third in first down per run, sixth in targets per route, and sixth in receiving yards per game. That's legit 3-down usage. So when he is playing, he is that bell cow. He still looks like one of the most pure runners in the league. And you just know, when you see some of these guys, he runs angry. He runs with a chip on his edge. A chip on his edge? A chip on his shoulder. Kenneth Walker's not just getting touches. He is maximizing the touches he is getting, and he is an elite running back this season. Again, like Christian McCaffrey, there's a chance that this guy does get injured. So just make sure to draft his backup Charbonnet too. And you don't have to worry about it because when Kenneth Walker is out, Charbonnet gets all the work. Kenneth Walker might have some injury risk to him. He also has top 5 running back potential this season. Next up, let's talk about the breakout star last season, Chase Brown. I absolutely love this guy. I had him on my team last year, and he is so elite. Side note, I'm saying elite a lot in this video, but I can't help it. These guys are crazy good. Mixon was traded to the Texans. There was a void in the Bengals' heart, and they needed someone to fill that void. And out of the darkness came Chase Brown and won many people fantasy football championships. In 2024, Brown posted 229 carries for 990 rushing yards and 7 touchdowns. He had 54 receptions on 65 targets and a total of 4 touchdowns. He averaged 15.9 fantasy points per game, ranking him RB14 overall. After Zach Moss's season-ending injury, Chase Brown played 80% of all Bengals snaps. And this year, everyone was expecting them to draft another running back, but he has zero competition. This guy is going to be elite again, and you need him on your fantasy team. Oh, and I forgot to mention, in the latter pack of the year, he averaged 20.6 fantasy points per game, third most among running backs during that span. Brown's efficiency was notable. He had 4.3 yards per carry, 6.7 yards per reception, and 11 total touchdowns. That's insane. If you're looking for a running back with proven production and clear path to volume, Chase Brown should be high on your draft board. Right now, he's getting drafted in the 2nd round, which is totally worth it. If you get Bijan Robinson 1st round followed by Chase Brown, oh my goodness, you're going to own it. Let's talk about our 5th and final guy on the list. We're talking about a rookie. His name is Harvey. This is a real guy, and a real guy you need to draft. He's a rookie, and he's really good. He's going to make moves this season. Sean Payton used 2nd-round draft capital on this dude. And if you know anything about Payton, you know he treats his early-round running backs like royalty. Look at his current depth chart. Jaleel McLaughlin, nice little change of pace guy, but he couldn't pull down a role last year. Audric Estime, the vibes are strong, but production wasn't. This is going to be Harvey's backfield to dominate this season. At UCF, this guy had 1,416 rushing yards and 16 total touchdowns. He averaged 6.2 yards per carry and chipped in with 25 receptions. He ranked top 20 in the country 2 straight seasons in breakaway run rate and exclusive rating. That's not just speed. That's speed plus tackle-breaking violence. Over the last 2 years, Sean Payton's offense has had the 5th and the 1st target share to running backs. Harvey is about to be that dude. This is the type of guy that your league makes draft, panicking, not knowing who this guy is, and then he ends up breaking fantasy football. So I'm telling you right now, this is the guy that you need to get on your roster. Draft him now. Harvey's a strong RB2 with RB1 upside. Hop on the Harvey rocket ship before it takes off without you. All right, guys, that is 5 fantasy football running backs that you need to draft in 2025. Let me know in the comments if I'm absolutely crazy or if you're drafting any of these guys. And thanks for tuning in. This was Scott Smith with Bootleg Fantasy. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.